Now, Boris Johnson's new bill to change the UK's Brexit deal with the EU will break international law, according to one Cabinet Minister. The Northern Ireland Secretary, Brandon Lewis, said the new legislation would go against the treaty in a specific and limited way. The former Prime Minister, Theresa May, has warned that the changes could damage trust in the UK over future trade deals. The latest round of trade negotiations between Britain and the EU started today. Our chief political correspondent, Vicki Young, was following them.
Mr Johnson, are we going to get a deal today? Are you confident?
He promised to get Brexit done and the UK has left the EU. But now Boris Johnson's team is in a familiar place, trying to negotiate another deal. This time it's about how we'll trade with the EU from January. Progress is slow, but round 8 of the talks started today.
I'm confident that our negotiating teams and the EU negotiating teams are all focused on getting a good outcome, both for our friends and partners in the EU and for us in the United Kingdom.
But there's another row brewing over the withdrawal agreement. Yes, the one which has already been signed, sealed and delivered. It agreed that Northern Ireland would continue to follow some EU customs rules. That would mean extra paperwork, checks and tariffs for some goods moving between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Now the government's introducing its own law so that UK ministers can decide how to apply the rules without the EU's agreement. The disapproval from this former Prime Minister was obvious.
The government is now changing the operation of that agreement. Given that, how can the government reassure future international partners that the UK can be trusted to abide by the legal obligations of the agreements it signs?
Another Conservative MP got this remarkable admission from the minister.
Yes, this does break international law in a very specific and limited way.
That's not the kind of thing you hear very often in the House of Commons. And he's not the only one who's surprised. The Labour leader told me the government shouldn't be acting in this way.
At the moment, what the government's doing, which in my view is wrong, is reopening old arguments that have been settled. A deal is there to be had. Let's negotiate, let's get that deal. That's what the public want, and move on.
Ministers insist the new law they want to introduce simply clarifies what was agreed with the EU last year. It doesn't rip it up completely. But even the government's top lawyer doesn't see it like that. He's resigned today because he thinks the plans are in breach of the government's obligations under international law. EU and UK officials will continue their talks tomorrow, with the British government accused of going back on old deals while they try to work on a new one.
Well, let's go live to Westminster and Vicki joins us now. Vicki, what's going on behind the scenes there? What's the thinking behind this kind of possible change?
Well, I don't think Tory MPs could actually believe what they were hearing in the House of Commons today. The minister there admitting that this could break the law. Now, for a lot of them, this is about credibility. The UK is supposed to be setting an example around the world. There's a lot of unhappiness tonight amongst Tory MPs who say, how can we berate countries like Russia and China if we're undermining the rule of law ourselves? So yes, the question, why now? Well, Brexiteers have for a long time not liked the withdrawal agreement. They don't like the fact Northern Ireland is treated differently from the rest of the UK. But let's face it, they did know that when they all signed up for it and voted for it. So could it be a negotiating strategy, trying to get compromises out of the EU, or maybe trying to force them away from the negotiating table? I think whatever it is, it's incredibly provocative, especially as we get to this crucial stage, trying to negotiate a future trade deal.
Vicki, many thanks again. Vicki Young there for us at Westminster.